In this video, I'm going over the techniques I use that involve making patterns on the vessel using cloisonné wire. Cloisonné wire is a thin ribbon of silver that is taller than it is wide. The word cloison itself means cell in French. These wires will be fused to the surface of the vessel and then filled with colored transparent enamel. The height of the wire may vary, but the wire I'm using is about 1/16 of an inch high. Before laying down the cloisonné wire, I apply a layer of fine silver foil. There are two reasons for this. First, it gives a metallic effect on which the transparent colors can be applied. And second, it helps keep the cloisonné wire from melting onto the copper base. I need to use a brass wire brush to perforate the foil, which means poking thousands of tiny holes in the foil to allow the gases from the glass enamel to escape as it's being heated. When we anneal the silver foil, I place it on a sheet of mica which rests on the wire rack. This just keeps the foil from touching the wire rack as it's being annealed. Because of the delicacy of the foil, it can easily become wrinkled or even torn during this stage, so I take great care to not damage the foil. The silver foil is trimmed into shapes that allow it to fit around the vessel. I use clear fire holding agent to cement the foil onto the surface, applying it with a paintbrush. The foil cannot overlap itself in this first stage of applying it. I just try and get them as close as they can get before dust coating the foil with colorless transparent enamel and then firing the piece. After the transparent coat has been fired, I can go back and apply more foil as needed over the gaps I've left. Once the vessel is evenly coated with silver foil and all of the gaps have been filled in, we can begin setting the cloisonné wires on the surface. To bend the wire into the feather pattern that I'm going to be using for this vessel, I have created a template out of brass sheet metal that the wire can go into. The brass template gets attached to a wooden jig I make myself and then cut small segments of the wire that get pressed in the template. I repeat this step dozens of times until I get enough wires ready to be set on the vessel. I glue the segments of cloisonné wire onto the vessel using an adhesive made from powdered lily root. This is special glue that holds the wire to the surface until the enamel begins to melt. The coats of colorless, transparent enamel will hold these wires in place once the lily root glue burns off. For this design, it's important for the ends of the wires to be touching the other wires so that closed cells are formed. You will see why this is important in the next part when we begin applying color enamel inside of these cells.